Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of She Builds Tech Skills North America. We are here today to kind of celebrate International Women's Day or the day after International Women's Month. We're trying to figure out when is the time zone or the time frame here. We're going to take the whole month. So we're glad you can be with us today. We're just going to have a nice little chat about what it's like to be a woman in tech. So my name is Candice Bohannon. I'm a solutions architect at AWS. I've done a couple of these She Builds episodes so far, and typically what we do is talk to our customers and see how they're using AWS and just kind of talk about those business and technical problems. So today it's just us from AWS, and so we'll talk a little bit about what we do and how we do it and things like that. So a little bit about me, and now to pass over the mic to my colleague and friend Jigna. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Jigna Gandhi. I'm a senior solution architect at AWS. Been with the company for almost 2 years now, and this is my first Shebus episode, so I'm really excited to be here. Tamara, why don't you go next?
Thank you. My name is Tamara Gagliardi. I'm also a senior solutions architect. I've been with AWS for about 4 years. I support enterprise customers in Southern California, supporting healthcare life sciences. So that's like med devices. If you go to like clinics or hospitals, that's what they build, or pharmaceutical or genomics. Super interesting field. And I'm very excited to be here today. It's also my first She Builds. I'm behind the scenes in a lot of the episodes, prepping and helping build content. And we thought that today we can share some of our stories, provide you with like tools, tips, tricks on how to overcome some of the challenges that us females might find in the field. I thought maybe we can start by sharing some of our stories on career path, some of the challenges that we overcame, and share some of those stories with our audience. So I'll start by maybe sharing a little about my early career path. Very young, my mother realized that I was passionate about technology, so she enlisted me in coding classes. And what I noticed was that there weren't that many girls in my classes. Along my career too, when I went undergrad, also I remember I had very little experience with computers, and going into that first class, it was a little overwhelming to see that there were very few females. Maybe it was like 4 of us in that first 101 class, and by graduation, it was 2 of us graduating. And in addition to that, I'm Latino, so that adds another layer of representation. And what really helped me was building my network, building my communities. So in college, maybe looking outside of computer science, that's what I did my undergrad on. So joining like the math club and finding other females and creating support through there. Now in this career, that's why I'm part of She Builds. This is an amazing community that provides us with such support and encouragement. And maybe even looking outside of other female groups, we have allies across other organizations. So that's maybe one of the tips, like building those networks and communities that help you thrive, encourage you, provide you with opportunities of connecting with others. I don't know on your end, Candice, if you have any stories from your side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would plus one all the things that you said. I was, as far as like going into it, it's like, oh, am I really going to fit in here? And you can find your network. And so, and that's really what you have to do whenever you get into the job market, back into the world. So I'm also trying to post some of our banners along the bottom. So, as you kind of get into the workforce, I think that it's really important, again, to find your people, like whether that is different, we call them like ERGs, employee resource groups, or even just finding your supporters within your team. So today, earlier this week, I posted on LinkedIn about this event. So hopefully maybe that's how you found it. And then one of my friends and colleagues, Phil Callister, said, hey, go see my friend do this thing on YouTube. And so he then gave it an extra microphone, an extra amplification. And I would say that's what you need to do in your job as well. you find those people who can kind of mentor and sponsor you. And when you are going into a meeting, I think it's really good to kind of find those people who are kind of on the same page as you about the direction that we should kind of go into. And as a woman, sometimes it can be a little intimidating to say things out loud, and you kind of wonder, like, wait, are they really going to listen to me, and that sort of thing. But if you can find your allies, your friends and networks within the company, you can kind of talk with them ahead of time, especially like it does help if they're males sometimes, but you find that person ahead of time and say, this is what I'm going to say. If you agree, could you please help amplify that message? And so you walk into the meeting and you're kind of on the same page. You're already like in a little alliance, let's say. And then like my friend Phil could be like, well, as Candace said, Athena would be a really great tool to query that data. And so then it elevates and amplifies what you said. So, it can be hard to be the different one in the group, but you can still find ways to have your voice heard, and know that being the different person in the group, sometimes it helps people to kind of notice you. We tend to notice the different ones in the group. So take advantage of being different and find your friends. Those would be two big tips that I would have. How about you, Jigna? What kind of stories would you like to share with us about maybe being a solutions architect and how you've been handling that?
Yeah, sure. I would love to share. So, at least, I mean, one tip from my side, obviously, plus one to both of you. My big thing, and that I would say, like the thing that has helped me the most in my role is continuous learning. So, at least for me, on my role, is like every day is different. Every day comes up with a new technology or a new feature that I had honestly no idea about. So, and it is awesome because that keeps me always learning. It keeps my technical experience always going up. But then this continuous learning, and that has like the biggest impact on like how I can deliver the most out of my role. The other thing that I would say is bringing the different perspective. Like, for example, thinking about the business goal or initiative that I would be solving for my customers, and that perspective or that end goal motivates me the most, becoming like the trusted advisor for my customers. Plus one on the networking. I think that in my role, it's really difficult to know everything. So, the thing that helped me the most is reaching out for help, connecting to different teams, different colleagues, reaching out to them often, sometimes multiple times in a day. And well, I hope they don't hate me for that, but sometimes shadowing or reverse shadowing with them to understand how they think about something, how they solve a problem. I do like to share one more thing, and I don't know if you have also experience with this. There's one thing that I didn't knew, and I realized very late is maybe because I was always busy in meetings, I was always working, and I didn't do that self realization. Was I was going through anxiety. I was initially struggled a lot due to imposter syndrome. I felt lonely. I felt stressed that, oh, I have to deal with so many things that at once, and I have no experience with those things. I used to think that, oh, I'm not prepared. Maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe I'm not even capable of handling such conversations. I was thinking always, like, for example, what others will think if I didn't knew something. How can I even say no to a customer or a no to my team member? So that was like quite an initial phase that I was going through, and things definitely started improving a bit. I got closely connected to my mentors, my peers, and I realized that I'm not the only one who is dealing with this. I felt that I'm not alone in this journey. Cadence, how about you? Have you ever felt this before?
Absolutely. All the things that you just said. I think imposter syndrome is a big thing. I have heard one person say she does not get imposter syndrome, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because most people I think do get it. And I think that just knowing that you're not alone in those lonely, like self-doubt sort of moments, I think that's one of the strongest. That helps me a lot, at least, to kind of get over that. Like hearing you talk about your struggles, Jigna, hearing other people kind of talk about that feeling where you're like, oh man, I work at Amazon now. Am I good enough to work at Amazon? Holy buckets. But I think that we all kind of, at least most of us, not all, because someone told me she doesn't, but most of us do in fact have that. And I think talking about it and being really honest and vulnerable about those feelings it helps kind of normalize it. And I think that's the way that, like, as a society almost, we can kind of combat imposter syndrome. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about all of that. How about you, Tamara? What would you say about imposter syndrome?
I +1 everything you both said. I remember prior to being a solutions architect, I wasn't customer facing. I had internal customers, and it wasn't so much context switching. For those that are not aware, with solutions architect, I support multiple customers, and I'm what it's called an account solutions architect. So I don't specialize in one service or one area. It's across the broad. I'm coming in, my background is in networking and security systems. So that was like the area I knew. I didn't know that much about databases. I didn't know much about like analytics. And jumping into these calls at the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to know everything. I used to watch so many videos, driving to customer sites with like the podcast, trying to like absorb as much energy and information, and that's not sustainable. The one thing that I realized is like, you're not going to have all the answers. It's completely fine. Just owning what you know, and what you don't know, it's fine to say, I don't know that. Let me get back to you, or let me bring somebody that knows about it. One thing that we say here at Amazon, and I agree with, that in terms of knowledge, there's people that maybe have been doing databases for 25 years. So for you to get to that level of like knowing everything, you might just scratch the surface. So again, using the network, like Jigna and Candice mentioned, of being able to leverage that network, bringing in those people, learning from those people, from like Jigna mentioned of shadowing or creating those assets. And just owning what you know, and what you don't know, then you get to learn it, or you get to bring somebody else in that knows it. So that's something that really helped me, just being very honest and very forward. And even till today, just every time trying to prep, but not over prep. With that too, what has helped and what I wanted to kind of maybe jump into is the She Builds community. We're building this community in North America. She Builds Tech Skills North America. We recently launched our podcast as well. So if you're driving somewhere like myself, sometimes you see customers and you want to listen to us and you can't jump on YouTube, that's another ways to consume this information, get tips, tricks. Maybe we share a little more in terms, Candice, of what we're doing at She Builds. I know that you've done a couple of sessions. If you want to share from your end what the She Builds community is.
For sure. I also want to say, Tamara, like, you've already kind of been added to my network, but knowing that you're a networking person, that's my weak spot. So I can help you with data. You can help me with networking. I'm really
exchange.
I need help with networking as well.
Oh no, what did I just sign up for?
Also, this will be recorded, so everyone now knows that you are the networking person. But yeah, so as far as like She Builds, so She Builds has been a great way to meet people from across AWS. Like, we actually cover the coast to coast now. So I'm in Central. Tamara mentioned she's in Southern California. Jigna's on the East Coast. So you got us across all of the United States and even Canada. So She Builds has been a really great way to kind of build up that network. And what we're doing, like, to build the network even externally from AWS, is we have these videos that we're posting on both Twitch and YouTube. And we're on the Twitch AWS channel every other Tuesday. And typically what we do is we reach out to customers and we have them talk to us about their business problem and their technical solutions. And so that ends up being 2 different episodes that we post, and we'll have members from our core team, like Jigna, Tamara, and I, and various other people, kind of interview those customers and then have them come back onto our episode. I was going to say podcast. And so it's been a lot of fun learning these different customers outside of the customers that I support. What are they doing and how are they solving their problems? But probably my favorite episode that I've gotten to be a part of so far was the behind the scenes at reInvent. I should have actually gotten the link to that one, but you can find it here. You're in our YouTube channel right now. So you should be able to find it. But at that one, so I got to go to reInvent first of all, that's awesome. And I got to go because I was showing a project at Builders Fair. And so that project was really cool. It's basically one of those generative AI sort of things where you upload an image and it spits out a caption for you. So it was really intended for visually impaired people to help them kind of see their environment with an audio transcription. So it was really cool. If you want to see a demo, you should go watch that video. We also had a sign language. So we had another one of the Builders Fair projects featured in that. And we had basically She Builds celebrity Liz Dennett from Wood Mackenzie. So she was on our very first episode from the North America team. So that behind the scenes at reInvent, that was my favorite thing that we've done so far. But this is really a great community, and I'm really excited to be part of this and kind of help encourage everyone, or especially women, to be more involved in this. I think it's important to show our personalities, show that a lot of different people a lot of different types of women can be in tech. So breaking those stereotypes and giving people the courage to jump in and, work through their imposter syndrome and do the things to be awesome. So yeah, She Builds is great, and I'm really glad to be part of this.
Awesome. I actually kind of missed that that you were in reInvent. I was presenting a session there, but obviously I had no idea about this. I wish I would have connected you with before, but I'm glad that I'm part of the community right now. I also want to point out that we have our next She Builds episode. It's happening on coming Tuesday, March 14th. So do check out the link and reserve your spot. We are going to have four amazing leaders who will be talking about navigating careers in technology. They're also going to be talking about how to deal with professional setbacks and building the confidence, which is the most important thing that I feel that everyone needs right now. You can also reach out to us directly via LinkedIn, learn more about She Builds. It would be really, really great to connect with you all and learn about your stories as well. So let's have a chat, let's connect and build this community. With that, we are going to wrap up today. Thank you so much for listening in, and we'll see you soon on the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Find the outro.